Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of For the Most Part podcast. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Grammys and kind of understanding, the different facets, how you get into be, I guess, a voting member of the Academy. And the various aspects, some definitions that I've seen online, and what makes you eligible to be a part of the Grammys. Okay, so let me start with the definition, right? So according to I'm guessing this is the Grammys website. The Grammys Grammy Award is any of a series of awards presented each year in the United States of America, either by the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences or the Latin Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. The Grammys, as they are commonly known, are meant to recognize spectacular works in the music industry. This is from Britannica.
Yeah, the Encyclopedia Britannica.
I'm not hearing you as much, so you might need to either. Yeah, might have to dip in a little bit.
Dip in. All right.
Yeah, or pull the microphone closer to you.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this better?
Not quite, but we will work with it. All right. So, categories are voted on by members of the Academy only. So this is not a public forum.
Yeah. So there's no people's choice, people's favorite, nothing, and only voting members, because there are 3 membership levels. Only voting members are allowed to vote.
Right. So membership can be either voting professionals or students. So I'm guessing voting professionals within the Academy or students of the Academy.
Yes. Or well, students in this case would refer to anyone who is enrolled in a tertiary level institution and your major or course of study has to do with music, whether it's production, whether it's performing, whether it's teaching. Yeah.
Okay.
Right? So that's for students. And then professionals would be people who have expertise but may not have the same qualifications as people who can vote. Now, people who can vote need to have many credits behind them. A certain amount of credits, whether if you're a singer, a certain amount of albums, a certain amount of singles. If you're a producer, you need to have a certain amount of accolades and experience in your career. You can't just be, in other words, to be a voting member, you need to have a lot. You need a career. You need to show something for it. You have to have an impressive resume.
Okay.
To vote, huh?
Ah, Lord.
And we're talking about voting. And
so,
remember that we're talking about thousands of people here.
Now, for my research, I've seen a few ways to which you can become eligible to be a part of the Academy.
Yes.
So like one way is they define an album as 5 tracks and or 15 minutes of music.
Is that to be a member of the Academy or to win a Grammy?
No, to win a Grammy or to be considered for nomination.
Right.
And or you can have any amount of tracks, but they have to at least come up to 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Right.
Nominees in each of the 84 Grammy Award categories do not have to be Recording Academy members themselves. However, their work does need to be submitted by a Recording Academy member or a registered media company.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about this eligibility thing for a little bit here. So what they're saying, now I've seen some other stuff too where it has to be music has to have been like released on the public forum, radio and that kind of thing, like at least a year before the actual period for nomination.
So for 2022, for example, the eligibility period was October 1st of 2021 to August. No, I tell a lie. Sorry, it's up to August 31st of last year, which would have been the eligibility period for this year.
Oh, so it's from the year before. So it's not for a full year then. Is it up to so let's just say the Academy award, the Grammy Awards are tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that you have up until yesterday, between last year and yesterday, to become?
No. That so for last year, right? I'm seeing that for 2022,
For
it was
this year?
anything between September 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2021. So once you've released something within that period, you are eligible for, and whoever entered for that would have been eligible for the last Grammy Awards that we had earlier this year.
All right, so I wanna pause for a cause, right?
Sure.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Let's talk about how you become a member of the awards, and how you become eligible to be a part of the nominations.
Okay.
Now again, this has more to do with the kinds of artists and kinds of music that fortunately or unfortunately get selected for this kind of thing. I want to say bravely that there are some, I've seen some controversial wins, both on the side of the nomination aspect, as well as from the side of people who just should not be in your academy anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
I just want to start off by saying that we're talking about American pop music.
that's what the Grammys are for. Strictly American, not based on the
Not
research.
pop music, but I mean
It's everything.
Yeah. But it is limited to releases for the American market.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
My bad. That's my bad.
It's global. So
That's my
so
bad.
there is a genre to which soca music can enter now, I believe.
Yes.
I can't remember the category, but and I don't know if local artists. I think Nyla and Marshall have they won Grammys or they've been nominated. No. But it is open for the international.
But what I meant was in terms of.
Okay, so you were saying, go ahead, Louise.
Yeah, I think we really need to talk very quickly about how voting members become voting members in the first place.
Okay.
So you can't just invite yourself.
So trash could become trash, or trash could become a voting member. It's just a figure of speech. It's just a figure of speech.
So according to the people on our website, right?
Which people are
you
them?
can't the recording
academy.
Yes,
Okay.
the recording academy, the academy that gives out Grammys.
Right.
You cannot nominate yourself to be a voting member. An existing voting member must nominate you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You must be nominated, and you need proof of a primary career. Awards, honors, online presence, interviews, reviews, professional support. So if you have a booking agent, a manager, etc., all of these people have to vouch for you as an artist wanting to apply as a voting member.
So it's not a simple two-step process of just having like two references and filling out a profile.
Yes, it is. But what you put in that profile is what I just explained. What the filling out the profile, there's a lot that you have to fill out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that you have to fill out. You need to show proof of who you are, proof of your career. You can't be a nobody. You can't be a nobody. So me, for example, I've never recorded an album in my life. Yeah, I don't see how I could be eligible.
Okay, no, I understand
yes.
that. I understand that.
Yes.
Okay. So on that front, now, historically, the Recording Academy has had different genres of music that was considered what they call good music. I've seen a few videos try to explain this, where they were talking about jazz, so guys like Nat King Cole and all them would probably be considered the standard to which you'd want to reach.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll was not a part of the Recording Academy until maybe late 80s when it started going live. Late 70s, 80s.
Yes.
So what is considered good music? Let's go based on the Recording Academy. What is considered good music versus what we think is good music? And is there some crossroad or is there no crossroad?
So I want to bring back that question to my initial thing about how to become a voting member. Whoever are the voting members, they're the ones who have to determine these standards. They are the ones who are voting. They are the ones who are voting.
Okay, but that doesn't answer my second question as to what you think is good music and if what the Academy has selected is considered good music. And be blunt about it. This podcast is not about being nice. I'm sorry to say.
all right. First, all right. Music. Everyone likes what they like. Everyone doesn't like what they don't like, right? But I don't know how to answer that. What is good music? What is not good music? There are some okay, I'll put it like this. There are some categories that may never interest me because I don't listen to music in those categories.
Okay.
Right? There are some categories that will interest me a lot more. And I think I could give some kind of insight on if I think something is good or not. But remember, consider that we're talking about 84 different categories. That's a lot of categories. What do you think?
I think, honestly, that some of the categories that are in the Recording Academy are a waste of time.
Okay, what are some of these wastes of time?
No, again, this is relative to me and what I listen to, and to my music vocabulary. I've seen things like up to 2021, Diana Ross has not won a Grammy as yet. Beyonce has won 21. Now again, the Grammys, I guess, is based on sales, is based on, I don't know, social media influence. I don't know I don't know the details, right? But how is it that a legend such as Diana Ross has not won a Grammy as yet?
Okay, quick question.
Sure.
How many times has she been nominated?
That I am not sure of.
Right, and that's another thing that we need to look at. In order to be nominated, someone has to send your stuff in. Once you don't send your stuff in, there's no nomination.
Okay, and so let's just pretend like for a split second that her stuff was nominated. Why hasn't she won?
Because that is how the votes went.
Okay. No. My next question is: do we think that the Academy is rigged? Rigged in terms of, because I have seen stories where votes have been changed and they remove nominees because of certain things and they put in new nominees because of certain things. Do we think that there's any truth to that? And do we think that the Grammys are just maybe I don't want to say a cover because that's such a bad word. But as if there's more to than what meets the eye in the voting process.
I agree 1,000%. I think any voting process, let's bring it back home locally. I think any voting process where there are people involved and creativity at that. I'm sure people are going to argue. There's going to be some bubble. There's going to be something. I guess
we could link the voting process to Panorama and what people think which bands should have won certain panoramas and which bands shouldn't.
Yes.
I've seen people say that if you compare the people's choice in Panorama versus the Panorama wins, it's two completely different
things. And I'm sure if the Grammys had a similar system, I'm sure that would be two completely different things as well. But what the vibe I get from the Recording Academy is that they don't care about what outsiders think. Whoever they give awards to, that's our decision. We don't care. I've always gotten that sense from them. They're not out to please the general public with their choices.
Right.
They're out to give awards to people who they think deserve them the most.
Do you think that Taylor Swift deserves an award? It's just a question, I mean, I'm sure that there are a million viewers that will probably watch this video sometime in the future and probably ask me why I'm asking such a stupid question. In some regard, I want to assume that based on best-selling record of the year or whatever some of these awards are, you know, Taylor Swift rightfully won because her song was on the top of the charts, so made how much of a sale, sell how many of her copies. You know, and the next thing too is how the digital downloads affect some of these numbers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Mackenzie, you're looking like you want to say something in the corner then. No, you just want to sit down.
I'm sure we will reach a point in the discussion where Mackenzie just gonna reach over. He's gonna turn that mic, and we're gonna hear from him. But I'm not sure how to answer that Taylor Swift question.
Me either. Because
I'm not sure.
This is what I will say. I have read, and I'll drop a link for the video that kind of breaks down the Recording Academy thing in different facets. If it's racial disparity, coming down the history, the genre disparity.
Yes, and that's the thing. There are so many of these issues in the Recording Academy.
Yeah. I will drop a link in the description as to, you know, that particular discussion, because I found it interesting, because the guy was saying as you said, there's so many different things you need to consider. He basically said it point blank that there are some pieces of art that just aren't art in his eyes, and based on what public opinion is saying, you know, there was some of these things are just snubs, outright snubs, versus people who actually honestly deserved some of these awards. Yeah.
Deserved. That word. Deserved.
Yeah.
By whose standards? Yeah. Deserved by what standards? Because, and the reason why I keep coming back to this is that the Academy prides itself on some of its members. The Academy has some very big voting members. Big ones.
And they have basically staken a lot of these recording companies too. Yes. Publishing companies, all of them. They have their hands in something somewhere.
Exactly. You see, there's the thing that is it. There's so much politics in the thing.
What songs do you think deserve Grammys? Aside from, we could look locally too. There are some. Well, that's relative.
I'm just gonna say what a lot of Caribbean people are thinking. Spice was I think she was robbed. I think she was robbed. But again, the Academy has a lot of voting members.
Okay.
Right? And the reason why I have issue with Spice
Zayn, like, you wanna say something?
Hold on, no, wait. Hold on, him or no. When I was researching the Grammys, I learned that they get thousands and thousands and thousands of applications. There are literally thousands of pairs of ears who have to listen to every single entry that comes in to determine not just is it good enough, but they have to screen it by, of course, genre, etc. And then someone has to go back and check, all right, when was it released? Was it released within the eligibility period? Blah, 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 blah. There are so
kind of like America's Got Talent, where
yes, it's a
they
lot.
have to go city to city and listen to 100 people or 2,000 people a day. And some of those people who... Anyways, I proceed, but go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. But I think where some genres are concerned, there may be some, dare I say, a lack of expertise.
Okay.
Dare I say a lack of expertise.
Okay.
Dare I say, I'm not
so
saying
you mean like for example, just out of the blue, like a classical musician judging rock or heavy metal.
Or either that, or look at it.
Or country singer judging rap. I'm just saying.
And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with a country singer judging rap. If that country singer can show me that they know the thing. If that country singer should show me that they know the thing. If or who knows, maybe that country singer was a rapper before they became a country singer.
Okay.
Right? So it's not just about what you sing, it's about the expertise that you have.
Because I was gonna say, so then maybe what you're saying is that maybe some of these voting members don't have expertise, or they lack the experience or the knowledge or the background on some of these other genres. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, that is what I am suggesting. I am suggesting that while the expertise
So
may
rock
exist,
people study rock music, rap people study rap music. I'm just saying.
yes, but how do you get an American musician to properly make how do you get a non-reggae artist or a non-reggae listener or a long reggae expert to make a decision on a reggae track or a dancehall track?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I want to assume you'll have to have them delve into the culture.
Exactly. And wouldn't it help if that person is from that culture? Not from the country.
But then again, wouldn't that cause some bias? So obviously, if you listening to reggae 24/7, and then you say, yeah, nah, this song deserves the Grammy, would you say then that it's better? Okay, so all right, let me put it to you this way: why not have a neutral air? Somebody who doesn't know, and they could tell you honestly, well, I may not know much about this, but I could relate to this, or I can't relate to this.
You're right. I would say a neutral air is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
A neutral air is necessary for any competition. I get that.
And maybe it's a combination of voting members too that play a significant role.
Yes, and that's another issue.
How many? Okay, so how many voting members are there per category?
Hundreds.
And so how many? Okay, so is that they sit down in a room and they say, well.
So that part of the video didn't really expound on it, but basically they mentioned these things take hours and hours. Sometimes they may be all in one room. Some voting members don't have to be in the room, and they may do their listening at a different time.
On a different sound system. So there's so many. Okay, wow.
Yes.
So
But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
But you just mentioned something about different systems. But what I'd like to point out to you is that if as a producer you're gonna release music, you as a producer had to make sure it sounds decent on almost anything.
There are some producers that can't do that. I'm just saying.
And I'm not talking about ability. I'm talking about. I'm simply making the point.
Yes, okay. See, pull the microphone and talk.
I am simply making the point. I'm simply making the point that you can't really use that as a, or maybe we can.
I think we can. And a good example of that is these speakers in this room here.
Mm-hmm.
They are high-end, high-quality.
Yes. But let's
speakers.
assume that the voting members have the access to the money. You know? I doubt that they're going to do their listening on my bootleg Samsung headphones that I bought from a Guyanese in Sawa the other day.
Hold on.
So,
I will give you a rule of thumb. Professional, one of the greatest mixing and mastering engineers in Trinidad and Tobago once said to the class in UTT, if you can mix and master on a cheap set of speakers and or headphones, you have accomplished great things. I digress.
All right, cool.
If you know who that is, drop a comment. It's Martin Raymond, by the way.
Yes, I figured.
So, I don't think headphones or the system really should have much to do.
No,
I think there are a couple of things. One thing is expertise of the voting members, and
let me show you something else.
Okay.
So, in order to be a voting member, you need to have all of these titles and all of this
what kind of titles you
experience
talking
and
about?
expertise. Not titles, but awards, expertise, X amount of years in the business, X amount of records, X amount of this. But if you as an artist, you don't meet some of these recommendations, come and win a Grammy, you can become a voting member. Winning that one Grammy, whether or not you met the requirements of what a voting member would get, you can become a voting member without all of those without the long resume. Now, I'm not saying, now, obviously, if you win a Grammy, you must have something about you. There must be something about you. But I also think we need to look at the fact that, okay, if you win a Grammy, oh, look, we're just going to let you become a voting member if you want. It's not automatic. You have to indicate if you want to accept voting membership or not. So it's not automatic. It just becomes open to you.
Oh. That's interesting.
And I also want to point out, too, that 2 voting members, and this is something I couldn't find out in my research. I don't know if voting members get workshops or any kind of formal training on adjudication.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's another thing.
I'm sure we could probably ask a question. I'm sure we could reach out to Mr. Sanch and Mr. Martin Raymond and all these guys and see, what are the processes that are involved, because these guys are actual voting members of the Recording Academy, right? So we definitely have some questions. I'm not sure that we'd be able to cover all aspects of this Grammys thing.
So let me ask a question. In your opinion, who did not deserve a Grammy? Name someone who won a Grammy Award. Tell me if you think they deserve this or not.
Personally, I don't like Beyonce. And I don't think that she has ever really deserved it. I don't.
You're really trying to get this podcast blackballed. You really trying to kill us?
No.
But there are some sounds in the room.
There's some things, we have to be real, right? There's some songs from our favorite artists that should not have won or don't, as much as we love them and whatever. There's some Mariah songs that I think don't and should not have gotten the Grammy.
Name one.
I can't remember which one. However, there was a time in I think it was 1991 American Music Awards where she was snubbed a couple of those awards too from Whitney. But generally speaking, I personally don't have I don't like Beyonce. It's never been my cup of tea. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't like any of the real pop culture music. Yeah, that's just me. I said it here, folks. Telling your hands down. And I've never seen the what is so great. Yes, she's a performer. She's one of the greatest performers on this planet.
Yes, she is.
If you were to compare her to anybody, she's like the other Tina Turner. I'm not even put her on the pedestal of Michael yet. She in reach, but I just think that there are some things, some categories of music are just simply overrated.
Are the Grammys prestigious?
Possibly.
Would you say that every single Grammy category is prestigious, or would you say that, or would you consider some to be, all right, maybe there's more prestige in this category than another?
I'll take the second option. There's some that are prestige and some aren't. And
I think
with like her, she's a phenomenal musician.
She's a voting member.
And she's a Grammy award-winning artist as well. And some of her stuff definitely deserves the award for uniqueness, creativity, and I'm assuming it has more to do with her ability to be directly involved in the creativity that speaks to people a little more. I don't know. This is all an assumption. I can't say off the bat. But again, I just not sure. I personally don't. There's some categories that are really questionable.
Such as?
There was one it was best pop album of the year or something too. Like why? Just why? One category. Best album of the year. Make everybody work for it. We don't need to have best rock album of the year, best R&B album of the year, best this of the year.
But here's the problem with that. If you have no, think of it practically. If you have a best album of the year, right? It means that people who are nominated for this inadvertently may not be able to vote in that category at all.
Okay.
So if you have like an album of the year that covers every single genre, it means that any of your voting members who are nominated for that category cannot vote on it. You're eliminating a lot of votes.
Oh.
And which is why there are so many categories, because so if
basically it affords people the opportunity to vote. That's what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, if you may not have enough people to vote.
Fair point. I take that. But there are some categories that, again, to me just don't make sense. And maybe it's more so because of how some of these albums are defined, and how some of these categories are defined. I don't know. That's most likely what it is, because there's some there, as we said in the definition. So, for example, the eligibility process for the albums, it's 5 tracks and 15 minutes, and something about 51% of your playing music has to be of that genre. So what it means is, if you have 5 tracks and it's 15 minutes total, you can have 2-3 songs that are pop and 2 minutes of death metal on the other 2 tracks, and your album basically win best new pop album of the year. Like, Dread, no. So maybe that's my problem with the Grammys. I'm just thinking of it in terms of, the chances that artists missing out on. There are a lot of rap artists that put out full, like, actual, the whole album is just rap.
Well, listen. There are many rappers who have made reference to not winning a Grammy unless you sing on a verse. I ain't calling no names.
True.
And listen, that is the nature of the beast. Some genres, I think, will always get the treatment, the respect, the honor that they deserve.
Fair point.
And some will not. There are some great rappers who openly say, nah, F the Grammys, I want no parts of that.
True.
I want no parts of that. There are rappers who have openly said, nah, no. So maybe
that's the route that they some of them should take.
Or maybe we just need to accept that maybe the Grammys is really for some genres.
Yeah.
And other genres need... I'm not saying we should just give up. But I'm saying maybe some genres need to realize, all right, maybe a Grammy Award cannot be... Maybe a Grammy Award cannot be what we want to attain.
Now, what would be really interesting to see, and I'm sure, the People's Choice Awards, and I think American Music Awards, I believe, is based on the American vote. I would love to just see some of these other Grammy Award-winning albums go under those votes and just let it speak. Let the vote speak for itself. I'm just curious as to seeing how it will turn out, because...
Right. Which is why I said some genres will always not, as I said, get the right amount of,
fair point.
reverence
fair
as
point.
others. So an award that would be considered prestigious for Taylor Swift may not be considered prestigious for Eminem. Even if they're nominated for the album of the year in their respective genres.
Right.
Taylor Swift's win will have... No. I mean, no. Like, really, let's sit on to think about this for a minute. Some genres of music, do you care about Grammy wins?
I don't even really take any Grammys that much anymore, especially after maybe 2020. Yeah, nobody really. And most of those public things, the Oscars, all them viewing has basically declined.
Yeah.
So. I think it has. I think there's a series of things that where that is concerned, hot mess.
Yeah,
hot mess.
It is.
I think we asked some good questions today, man. Because I'm curious, guys. What do you all think is Grammy worthy music? Now, don't study me and what I say here. I am interested in what all you have to say. Don't study what Louise is saying, because Louise is not the be-all and end-all of musical information either.
No, none of us are.
None of us are. We just here discussing. We turn out ideas. I'm curious to know.
Yes.
What are some albums or songs or whatever that you consider to be Grammy-worthy music? Do you take any Grammys? Do you, that kind of thing? And Would you ever become a voting member? Would you ever shoot to become a voting member now that you know what the process is? Especially
it
if
would
you
depend
are.
on the category.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some categories that I would love to vote for, and then there are some that I will stay away from. Certain categories I'll stay away from. If
Because they might stand up in the voting and say, no, take away this stupid song.
Yes.
I hear you.
I would.
I hear you.
No, I would. I really would. No, look, all right.
I'll just bring down
Tangent for a minute, right? Tangent for a minute. Who
Okay.
around the world? Girls who around the world. Girls.
No, we're not listening to that nonsense right now.
How many that song had like 24 songwriters on it.
Yes, yeah, and that's that. I mean, Jared, that's our next kettle of fish, right?
So if it is I had a vote, and let's say I get that and Bohemian Rhapsody,
Bohemian will obviously win.
in my mind, I'm
Either way.
like, and I would, first of all, I would look at the credits. I couldn't, you know what? I can't be a voter member because I would look at the credits and be like, wait, why did it take 14 brains to come up with Who Run the World, Girls? But Bohemian Rhapsody is how many?
I think it's
How
2 or 3
many
of them. It's just basic. It's Freddie wrote all the stuff, and then the band basically arranged everything else.
I wouldn't even want to look at that Beyonce song. I'm sorry. I'd be like, wait, hold on. No, because I in my mind I'd be going, wait, 14 people had to come up with this. 14 people. 14 people. 14 people.
Yeah, no, that's
14 people.
They make a point.
14 brains. 14 pairs of ears. This is nah. That's why I couldn't deal with him. But I'd just be like, who's that? Take it away. Yeah.
That's another reason why we should ask the viewers to drop a comment.
Yes.
Drop a comment,
Yes.
guys. Drop a comment.
I mean, I love this song. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Beyonce, but sip your water. But yeah, no. That's why I personally don't think I could be able to remember. I would probably cuss too much.
Fair point. I don't know if it makes sense to me either to become a voting member. I've always been more in the creative aspect of things, mixing, mastering, that kind of thing.
But there are categories for that too.
No, but get what I'm saying. I'm more into the production of song. I don't really care about the awards. I don't. I'm not into that stuff. No.
So wait. So do you think producers? Do you think it's important for producers to win Grammys for their?
You know, that's a good question.
Work?
I am not sure. You know, I guess it adds to your CV. I don't know, Mackenzie. I don't know if you want to actually answer that question. I personally don't know.
Which was is it important for? What does it mean for a producer to win a Grammy for their production?
Good evening. Hi.
I'm not hearing it properly.
You hear me?
Yes. There we go.
Right. So for me, the Grammys is about peers, basically acknowledging their peers.
Right.
So it's a good acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
It's acknowledgement from your peers that you have done great work, and it usually brings more work, and that's the gist of it.
It does.
I think.
So then it would be beneficial, I guess, for producers especially to get a Grammy or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd be this Grammy award winning producer.
A lot of the times too, I think when you see 12, 13 names as writers, some of them may also be composers of the music.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
even though they do have writing teams and large writing teams, I think sometimes to get more credit because you're writing off of my beat, I will give you some of the composing copyright. So you'd see the producer, you'll see Timbaland as a writer and Kanye as a writer, even though they didn't actually pen words, they wrote melodies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they must get some good pocket change from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I suppose once you're there as a credited songwriter, you're also going to get some royalties.
Yeah.
You know what? If 14 people had a screw in one light bulb, make your money. Make that money. Just make your money.
I didn't say it. She said it. All right, guys. So I think, as we said, drop a comment. Tell us what songs you think are Grammy worthy, what songs you don't think are Grammy worthy. Talk about snubs that you thought were controversial, snubs that you thought didn't deserve such a spotlight. And tell us, would you become a voting member if you had the opportunity to?
Yes.
And that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
All of the information as to where you can find us would be on our website, www.forthemostpartpodcast.com. That's it. And we will see you all, and we will hear you all on the next